get someone on it now.
All right, yo, add me on Discord. Add me on Discord. We'll get this done for. I'm down.
All right, awesome.
All right, cool.
As for the internet, it's something that's happening on the street because there's people out in the street complaining. So it's the whole street. The internet.
Yo, just for the record, I can't add you. You don't accept friend requests. Just add me, and then I'll accept you.
Cool.
And we'll get this done.
Cool. I'm gonna lose my masseuse, but it's fine.
Nah, she won't leave you. If anything, she'll love you more for this because this is the opportunity given, right? You brought her on the platform, and I gave her 100,000.
You're right, but I don't have a clue how to add people as friends, bro. I'm an old man.
You see that big ass nose right there? That big ass nose picture? Just click that right there. Right click it. Go to profile and then go to send friend request.
The one that says Trainwreck. Right click on.
Bro, I have a question. Right. Bro, how did you start and how did you make money?
Yeah,
me.
Yeah, he's fucking fit. Oh, okay. Yeah, how'd you become the richest man on the planet? Trillionaire or some shit?
A trillionaire.
Yeah, how'd that happen?
So I was a kickboxer for a long time. I was fighting for money. There's not that much money in kickboxing. And then my first serious entrepreneurial, I mean, I ran lots of businesses, did this, did that. Some things
like what?
You can't. Everything, man. I had a normal job for a while when I was kickboxing, and I did some different things, and I did some things I shouldn't have done, and blah, 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 and was in jail for a little while and got out. And then I opened up a webcam company. I had girls sitting on the internet talking to men, and I ended up scaling that up to having 75 women working for me. That's how I first made millions of dollars.
Fucking porn website, fire.
Damn, what the fuck?
You don't know this story? This is like my most known story online. You don't know this?
You never told it to me.
It's a really long story, and I've told it. I've told it very, very well on some other podcasts. But the short version of it was, I got in some debt to some dangerous men, and I needed money fast. And I was sitting in my room trying to work out a way to make money because at the time I was only fighting, and I didn't have a fight coming up for a while, and I was researching how money works. Like, I was trying to understand how money works, where it comes from. This is where I learned about the Federal Reserve and fractional reserve banking and all these things. So, interesting point he made earlier about, the matrix and its currency and how it's all a lie. I understand all that very well. But that really made me mad because now I understand money's bullshit and I still don't have any. And I was really upset. And I was sitting there with a piece of paper trying to write down my assets and my liabilities and, trying to write down all the geek shit they tell you. And for assets, I wrote down that obviously, I'm strong, but I'm already fighting. I'm brave, but I'm already fighting. I had all these girlfriends, but I thought, well, I can't afford to open a strip club. I'm not going to put them out on the track. I'm not that kind of guy. They're my girls. And then I discovered by accident when I was clicking around on these websites, I saw those things in the corner, talk to live girls now. And I thought, well, my girls could do that. And long story short, I ended up with 75 women and 4 premises and making $1.4 million a month. And that's how it all started. That was about 10 years ago.
Wow. Holy shit.
Yeah, there's an in-depth version of it, but that's the story. And people listen to that and they seem to think that for some reason I was exploitative, but it's absolutely the opposite. I'm a feminist, bro. I empower women to make as much money as they want to make, and I help them do it. I'm here and
as long as it's for you.
My niggas
right?
It's for them.
He was a pimp.
It's for them.
So look, X, this is what I wanted to actually ask the question because I know it was a question that you had. Hold on. Andrew, the one of the takes that you made on my stream about that you should take 100% of your girls' OnlyFans. I know X, you felt some type of way about that. Andrew,
they said that you were joking 100% and you weren't joking. So I assumed that you were joking, but I still hold this take that you weren't.
Well, it depends, right? So if it's a girl who were to come to me and say, Andrew, I would like you to help me make money on OnlyFans, and they would come to me for my marketing expertise, then of course it would be a fair deviation. I make 20%, 30%, whatever. That's different. But if it's my girlfriend, my long-term partner, and we're going to be together forever, and she decides to go down that particular career path, I think I should have a much larger stake because she is my girl. And she is now giving away some of the most private and intimate parts of her body to the internet. Those parts of her body belong to me effectively because she's my woman. That's the whole point of being with somebody. So to pretend that she's going to do that and make a bunch of money and give me nothing I find that disrespectful. I would sooner tell her, look, you're not doing OnlyFans, and she would obviously.
So I called it then that you weren't actually joking. It was an actual true statement, right?
Yeah, if I had a serious long-term girlfriend and me and her are together and we're going to be together forever, and she says I'm desperate to do OnlyFans, I say you don't need to. We're rich. She goes, no, I really, really want to. I say, okay, the money's mine then. We can disintegrate. We can dismantle these statements into one at a, like small rocks. We can approach them one at a time, right? Because
respectfully, okay, I think there's a lot of parts of that are garbage, right? But I don't want to say something at the whole rock, and we have to do small rock pebble at a time, you know, right? So also this motherfucker can laugh over here. You see it next to me, Los Polos. He's laughing, but he said you were trolling, so you were joking 100%. Right? He's holding his tongue right now because maybe he's gonna be right. But he said you were wrong 100% about this, and so wrong that you were joking. So I don't know why he's holding his tongue right now.
Wait, what did I do?
It's a very
particular scenario, right? You have to understand that the scenario in which I would take 100% is a very, very particular one. In general, when I had my business, and I know you're saying that they only made money for me. They made money for themselves. I turned girls. I would actually sit here and say, as the biggest misogynist on this panel, I've turned more girls into multimillionaires than any of you. I've made girls multimillionaires. This is 10 years ago at the beginning of all this shit, before OnlyFans, when webcamming was new. I took girls from Starbucks and made them millions and millions and millions of dollars and paid them fairly, never missed a single paycheck.
Okay.
I'm as feminist as you can get. Now, yeah, I got
like I said, I don't. Okay, no disrespect once again. Okay, I just feel like this is like the type of argument that goes like, I have 3 friends that are black when making certain comments or whatever. So I don't. Unfortunately, don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at me.
I don't get mad at you.
Okay. Well, respectfully, I think that is genuinely the same vibe, energy comment, right? Oh, I can't be against women because I helped 4 or 5 of them. Oh, no, I'm not against women because I made a couple of them millionaire or whatever the fuck, right?
It's not about being against women. I'm saying that the whole was a net positive for both me and the females. So you misunderstood my point. You think I'm making a different point, and that's why you've come to that conclusion. The point I'm making is that everybody who worked for me won. The only person who lost was the guy sending his money away online. That's fine. But for everyone who was associated with me, it wasn't exploitative because you made it sound like I only did it for me. No, the women who worked for me also made millions of dollars. Everybody who was associated won. Everyone won. All of them.
Yeah, for business activities or whatever. Yeah, that's fine. I wasn't talking about that at all. All I meant was, okay, fuck it. Let's just skip this tangent.
OnlyFans.
Let's just go back to the main argument you said. So I have more of a stake. So you think that in a relationship, you have a certain stake on your partner's income based on what that income comes from.
Well, depending on how they make it, absolutely. I think that in a relationship with a woman, if the man is with that woman, the main reason he knows he's with her is the fact that she is sexually exclusive to him. If you're with a woman and she's fucking everyone, are you even with her? No. How do you know she's even yours? Because she only sleeps with you, right? Well, if all of her intimate parts are now for everybody and they're purchasable, then I think you have a stake in said parts because those parts belong to you. She gives them to you when she decides to be a woman.
So there's a price that you're taxing your loss of privacy.
That's a way you could put it. I mean, personally, if my woman were to come to me and say she wanted to do OnlyFans, I'd just say no because I'm not. And she wouldn't.
Okay. Then,
but an example.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, respectfully, let's have let's try to upscale that discussion and see what kind of stake would you need for your girl to suck another guy's dick.
I would never tolerate that on any level. So that's too far. But
there's a price for the pictures and the loss of intimacy.
Correct.
For me, it's a black and white thing. This is scalable. Once you lose a certain amount, you can lose more of it, right?
I understand what you're saying, but to me, it's not black. Because pixelated pictures on the internet are very different than sucking an actual dick. So I would never let my girls be prostitutes. None of the girls who ever worked for me ever prostituted. I've never associated with a prostitute. I don't associate with porn stars, none of that kind of shit. But I had very wholesome girls with pictures of their titties on the internet 10 years ago who made themselves millionaires, yes. And now they are happily married with somebody or whatever. Or some of them are still with me. It doesn't matter. But I was never like getting girls to prostitute or hardcore pimping along that line. I use the word pimp because I had a lot of women who worked for me and they were all beautiful and it sounds cool. But truthfully, I don't even really see myself in that regard. Cool. I think less of a pimp than most corporations. The girls who work for me 50%. You don't get 50% of the cash register when you work at McDonald's.
Okay, people can be pimps and companies can be pimps to a certain level, right? Which has anything to do with you being a certain level of a pimp. I think if your girl is doing something, an activity of her own will, I feel like taxing her that's being a pimp. Quite literally. You are pimping at the wazoo. Yeah, you are pimping.
I understand, and maybe you've never had the kind of relationships I've had with my women, but any woman I'm with decides to, by her own free will, submit to me because she sees me as her intellectual superior. She sees me as her life superior. She looks up to me and she respects me, and she sees me as And for that reason, if she were to come along and say do OnlyFans and I said no, she wouldn't do it. But if she insisted on doing it, I would sit here and say, look, I'm unhappy with you doing this, making a bunch of money off of parts which are supposed to be intimate only for me. If this is going to happen, I need to have some kind of compensation for my unhappiness. Yes. And she would understand and she would pay me. But this is not a scenario I need to be involved in. This is just a hypothetical, right? But all the girls who worked for me, they were not romantically involved. They were girls who decided to make a bunch of money and they came to the best in the business, which was me.
So you would be okay with then paying them for their discomfort in other areas then? That'd be something that you're open to?
Sure. I mean, that's an interesting way to look at it. I mean, I think that all men do naturally anyway, right? Let's, I understand your point you're making, so let's extrapolate on it. You're saying that if I do something that they're unhappy with, I should give them money. Well, the point is, I think that all high value men do that naturally anyway. If you take a billionaire on a boat.
Naturally, it's kind of indirect of a term. It naturally is more indirect and more like intended, right? Since for you, it's transactional and intentional, then in this example, you have to use the same framework for that example. Same framework has to be agreed upon. So let's say, I don't want to be too gross right now. You're with a girl and you want to do something. Do you okay with the thing of saying, okay, well, I mean, I kind of want to do that. I'll give you 10K.
I understand what you're saying. I don't think it works exactly that way, but I think that all men, especially high-value men, are already in a transactional relationship to some regard, and that's not a bad thing. That's natural human nature. And the point I'm trying to make is that if you're a truly high-status male, if you're a billionaire with a yacht and you have 10 girls on that boat, the woman who's in love with you is going to let you fuck 9 other women in front of her because she gets to be on a billionaire's yacht. She gets to go to private islands. She gets to not have to work. She gets to run around on jet skis and take Instagram pictures. So to some degree, are you not paying her for her compliance? To some degree, are you not rewarding her for her being in a situation that she's not completely happy with? That is natural human nature, and all high status males do it.
Okay, as much as I would agree with you, that would be a part of something, right? Part of some sort of fulfillment, right? I would like my partner to be fulfilled in all the ways that I like to be fulfilled.
Oh, you gotta understand what point he's trying to make.
If a girl's only with me because she's fulfilled in this money way, but she's lacking on a bunch of other shit, what's the point?
So let's swap the hypothetical. Let's say you're in love with a woman, she comes to you and she decides she wants to do OnlyFans. What do you say?
Okay, so I've had a lot of things about OnlyFans before. A lot. I personally just because I think it's just gonna kind of annoying. I wouldn't go into it knowing she's doing it.
So right? So if your girl came to you and said, no, your girl's not already on OnlyFans, you're with a girl and she's seen OnlyFans online, she decides she wants to start, she comes to you and says, I want to become an OnlyFans chick. You're going to say, yeah, go for it. Don't give me a penny. Go for it. Get rich. Show your titties. That's going to be your answer?
No, I just say, this is kind of annoying. It's an annoying thing. I don't fully agree with it, right? So it'd be kind of cold. It's cold. I don't like it.
Well, this is the point. So I think it's you're and I understand this is really interesting what Train said earlier about internet language, because when you make a point, you have to be very, very careful with what you say. It's almost like politicians speak, but you're saying it's annoying. I wouldn't like it. Well, I'd say you're not allowed. That's what I'd say. I'd say you're not allowed to be on OnlyFans if you're my girl.
Okay.
If you are here.
Oh shit.
Okay, the point I'm trying to make is that
facts. You're not allowed.
I don't like it.
You're my girl. You're not allowed to have
I guess I would break
up. This is
up.
what it is.
But that's not like the
he can't say that because he's on this Twitch pedestal. What do you mean she's not allowed?
It's generally lame.
All right, so the point I'm making here is that it's a situation that most men don't want to find themselves in. They're completely in love with the chick and she decides to do OnlyFans. We're in a hypothetical situation. Saying I'd break up with the chick is a boring answer. So assuming you have to stay with the chick, that's the parameters of the question to make the question interesting to answer. My answer is that I need to be paid for her to be doing OnlyFans. That's the answer in the hypothetical situation. Your answer in the hypothetical situation is it's kind of annoying. I don't know.
There are parameters to this. There's a bunch of parameters around that. It would be like, I hope she's not doing it because of lack of fulfillment in certain ways in our relationship, because that's a fucking problem. I wouldn't want my partner to go to places because she's craving a part of something she isn't getting in our relationship. As long as something takes away from a relationship, right? And the framework remains the same, then I guess it's kind of chilling. But that's kind of how it comes to OnlyFans, because people do it for a lot of reasons and a lot of other ones.
No,
so
my girl's titties and an asshole. Just
do you mind me asking a question? How old are you?
26.
Okay, let me blow your mind, young man. Women love men they respect. And let me tell you this, and this is natural, this is evolutionary, it's biological. This is why women have certain even basic things like height, right? They're designed to be attracted to it evolutionarily because they respect larger men because they're more likely to be better at fighting. They're better warriors. Women fall in love with men they respect. Not even men they like that much. It's men they respect. Men they like are their friends. Men they respect are the ones they fuck. And let me tell you something. If a girl were to come to me and say, I am intent on doing OnlyFans, and I would say, I'm uncomfortable with you doing that. I don't want you doing it. And she says, Andrew, I love you, but I'm going to do OnlyFans no matter what. I would have to put together parameters and a framework in which she still respects me as a man, or we're over. It's not even about the money. It's about the fact that you are my woman. I love you. You love me. And you're going to show me enough respect as a man that if you're going to get naked on the internet, you're going to at least reward me in some way. There's not going to be all these men paying you money and you making a bunch of money on the fucking side sitting in my house without me getting shit, because that is disrespectful. And I would not allow her to disrespect me, not just because of my ego, but because of her own innate ability to not be attracted to somebody that she doesn't respect. If you were to come along and play things your way, if a chick were to come to you and say, I want to do OnlyFans, you would say, well, I don't like it. It's kind of annoying, and she started doing it, she would fucking leave. The girl is more likely to stay with me taking all her money than she is stay with you keeping all her money. And that may not make sense to you, but one day you will understand.
Okay. I'm going to fire back at you and just say that whatever my relationship is lacking, whatever amount of respect that I'm losing, and whatever amount of privacy that I'm losing, you can't put a price on that. You can't revert that with money. You just can't do it. Can't do it. I want to feel fulfilled. And what fulfills me is that my partner is fulfilled. And we're both on that like equal mindset, right? And you can't exchange that with money in a transactional way. You just can't. It doesn't matter the amounts. Doesn't matter. It does make me fulfilled. So if the partner can make up for it, whatever they're doing that they're lacking, and they're kind of like reverting it somehow. I guess we can find some sort of compromise, right? But it wouldn't be about money or be transactional money wise. It just wouldn't.
Brother, life is transactional, my friend. And to sit here and pretend that because things are transactional means there's no emotions involved isn't true. Life is transactional. If I'm completely head over heels in love with a woman and I love her with all my heart and I'm ready to take a bullet for her, it's still a transactional relationship. She still provides things and I still provide things that satisfy both of us. You do not sit here and stream for free. Life is transactional. So to sit here and pretend that things shouldn't be transactional is asinine. That's not the way the world works. Every single thing in the world is transactional. Even if I give money to charity, even if Train gives this lady who's massaging me 100,000, he's doing that, one, for clout, two, because he gets to feel good about himself. It's not pure charity. He gets to win too.
Actually, wait a second. No, I gotta say something. It's not for clout. If you look me up, I'm actually hated and everything's justified that I do, but it is for the feel good. I get a high from it. The same high I get from gambling, I get from giving. My dick gets hard. So that's transactional, but it is not for clout. I don't give a fuck about it. Just trust me. Do a little research. It is not the clout part, but it is the high part from feeling good. Continue.
Bro, it's the same with me. There's Romania has an orphanage problem. A lot of orphans. Every single Christmas, I go down to the orphanage with the Rolls Royce, give 100 grand, whatever. Am I the fucking nicest man in the world? Well, yeah, but also I feel good. I feel good for doing it, right? Yeah. So life is transactional. So to sit here and say things shouldn't be transactional is asinine. It's not a right paradigm. You must view the world in a transactional sense. The world is transactional.
But you're being a little bit obtuse, though. You are deliberately obtuse about what the nature of how we use transactional as a term. You're just saying, oh, it's all transaction. Yeah, of course. Then everything in life, if it goes one way, it comes back the another way. That's transactional. So everything is. But that's not how we use the word transactional. Transactional is more of not an indirect. It's more of a direct thing. I'm doing this for that. Right? That's how we normally use transactional. The way you're saying is just, it's an exchange of brain chemicals. I'm doing this and I get this brain reward.
XQC
right?
so
As an exchange. That's kind of that
just knows that is what he believes in.
Fine. Let me change the way I ask you the question, right? Because what I'm actually, and once again, you're only 26. You are smart. I can see you're smart, but you're 26. So if I were in your position and I had disagreed with everything that Andrew Tate had said, and Andrew Tate was going to come on a stream, first I'd have a list of everything he said I disagree with. You don't even have a list. So you haven't been very professional about your approach in this. You don't even know most of the things I've said. You're just saying this about, it's all very general. So in future, please.
Say it again. Sorry about that. I was fucking distracted by bullshit.
Fine. And fine. In future, make a list of all my points you disagree with, so we can be more systematic in our approach.
Agreed. The problem is that you're a gish galloper. You're a professional at it. You're really good at doing it. Gish galloping, you do dang, and then it's kind of hard to catch up because once we talk about something, it's already too late.
Cool. Well, let me tell you what you're doing, just so you're aware. If I walk into NASA and I say that going to space is too expensive and too dangerous, and they say, "Well, yeah, I agree with you," and I say, "Okay, this is bullshit," and they go, "Well, what's the alternative?" and I cannot present an alternative, that does not make me a fucking physicist. That does not make me an astronaut. That makes me a jackass. So if you cannot propose a better alternative, then you have no point to make. And this is the point I'm making with you. The parameters of the question are you're in love with a woman who decides to do OnlyFans. You can't break up with her. And I have also added another parameter. You want to retain the respect and the authority in the relationship. You think that taking money in said situation is completely unreasonable and unfair. Fine. What is an alternative which is superior? And if you cannot name one, then it is the best of a bad choice. It may be an unfortunate situation, but it's the best move in a bad chess position, and you must still make the best move. If you have a better move to make, I'm open to hear it. But if I'm in love with a woman, and I'm not going to break up with her, and she comes with me, and she insists on doing OnlyFans, my answer to retain my control and my respect in my relationship is for her to pay me. That is my answer. If you have a better one, my ears are open.
Okay, like I said, whenever somebody does OnlyFans, it's because there's what does that come from? Like, it can be a lot of things of why they would do it. Only money or some sort of fulfillment or whatever, right? Some sort of fulfillment.
Not gonna lie.
Right? If they're doing it because they're lacking something in the relationship, they're taking something away from the relationship, that's a fucking problem.
You're not answering the question.
Break up. If I'm that uncomfortable,
Can't break
I'm not
up,
going
he
to put
said
a price
already.
on that. I'm not going to be fulfilled in something and spend my entire life with somebody and be committed. There's no price you're going to pay me to be deluded that we're at the same level of commitment. Break up. End of story. No alternative. One alternative, break up. If you're that uncomfortable, I will not put a dollar amount on that. I will fucking break up
But
and move
Tate's
on.
scenario was
And
a
the fact that
hypothetical
you can put a price
scenario.
on your lack of commitment or whatever you think you're liking, because if they make an OnlyFans is fucking alarming.
But X, what he's saying was a hypothetical. He said in a real normal world, it's like, no, we can't. No OnlyFans, we break up. It is what it is. What he's saying, there's no breakup in this scenario. No breakup. What is the alternative of the transaction?
No,
the money?
I said break up.
I
said break up. That's alternative. You fucking break up.
This is his hypothetical though.
Also, X, he's saying it's not about the money. It's the principle.
His hypothetical is no, like in a situation where you guys aren't breaking up, and it's just you need some. What are you gonna do instead?
I have hundreds of millions.
I said broke up. Break
Okay,
up.
cool. Okay, well the point is,
Okay.
the point is, I have hundreds of millions of dollars, and if my girlfriend did OnlyFans and made $2,
They're
she
not
would
gonna
pay
agree.
me my dollar.
They're just
And
gonna
that's because it's
disagree the
principle.
whole
It's not about the
time.
money.
Okay.
There's disagree though.
So fair enough.
This conversation is gonna
But
go
you
on
can't-
forever, bro.
In my opinion, that the nature of that behavior of putting a dollar amount because of some
my
lack
God.
of whatever
They're
the
just
fuck
gonna go in
is
circles, bro.
stupid. It's an
long do
alarming
I got left, bro?
logical conclusion. It's just bad.
What else about me do you find alarming?
No, I'm just saying it's alarming. That's it.
Okay, what else about my views or things you've heard me say or my attitudes or my life
Oh,
approach? do
Oh,
you
my
find-
girl can't go out. That's fucking alarming as shit.
my girl can't go out?
Yeah.
Okay, let's discuss this.
Oh fuck.
All right, cool. So I take my girlfriends out all the time, right?
We'll
But
let
if
this
that
one
girl
go.
were to say, I want to go out with 7 other girls to the club, in my personal experience, I'd be unhappy for her to do that because I've been the man in the club that those 7 girls turn up to and end up on his table, and I know what happens. I've lived a very, very long life. I know how that ends. Now, I think that, and I've discussed this already before. I think I discussed this yesterday with Dave Portnoy, which he got upset about. I discussed that if I'm going to be in a relationship and I'm going to have responsibility over a woman, which I want to have because it's my masculine imperative, I should also have a degree of authority that comes with that responsibility. If I'm responsible for her safety, for example, but she refuses to obey me when I say don't walk home in the middle of the night, then how can I truly be responsible? Responsibility and authority are linked. I'm responsible for her because I'm her man and I take the best care of her. I might know things she doesn't know. She might be 19 years old and think going to the club's all fine. I'm 35. I've been around. I've seen what happens in clubs. No, you don't need to go there. I'm responsible for you. I take care of you. And by extension, I have authority to say to you, you're not going to that nightclub. That doesn't make me crazy. It doesn't make me insecure. It doesn't make me weak. She can always say I'm going to go anyway, and that's fine. And then we can break up. But in my scenario, any woman I'm serious about is going to obey me. And I'm not going to come along with some crazy, maybe people will call it crazy. I'm not going to make her do anything wrong. She ain't going to take drugs. She's going to go to the gym. She's going to eat right. She's going to be learning shit. And she ain't going to be in the club sniffing and drinking. Now, if that makes me a bad person, then so be it. No problem. But I get plenty of girls who sign up to that all day long without problems. And any man who sits there and goes, I'm not insecure, I'll send my girl to the club. Send her to my table, G. Send her to my table. No problem. Send her.
Enough. Okay.
We'll talk about insecurity when she's sucking dick.
Okay, then according to your mindset and how you see things then, and your high levels of security apparently, right? If your girl was to go to the club, right, and I was at the club, you're scared that I will bring your girl home.
I don't live in. It's not about scared because I don't live in fear.
That's fear.
No, it's not fear. What it is.
Okay, what is the outcome that you do not want of her going to the club?
I'll explain.
I'm
a territorial.
Guys coming over and bringing her home. You, by fear, you are scared of her going home with another guy. That is a move that is literally fueled by fear. You are fearful.
That's an interesting viewpoint, and I know you think that that's relevant, and I know you think you've made a good point, but I'm about to dissect it and show you why.
Go ahead.
I'm a territorial individual, and I think that being a man, one of the best things about being a man is being territorial, being able to say, that is mine. That's the whole point of it. So let's use an analogy. And please, when I make this analogy, I don't want you to try and get caught up in the analogy because I'm about to compare a woman to a car. Do not say you're comparing women to cars. That's low IQ. This is just an analogy. If I go outside, right? Okay. Or let's say I have a Lamborghini. I have many cars, but let's say I take my Lamborghini. Would I park it in a high crime area? Even if the locks are fantastic, even if my woman is loyal and completely and utterly in love with me, and I know there's 0% chance any man could ever take her home because she's with the top G, which is the case. Even if I know the locks on my car, it has bulletproof glass, it's locked, you can't break into it. Will I park my Lambo in an area where people are going to try and steal it? No, I won't, because that is irresponsible. So the fact is, I don't care if men try and come up to my chick, because no one can steal my chick, because I am me. The fact is, it's irresponsible for me to put her in a scenario where people will attempt it. If I walk out to the car park and someone's trying to break into my car, even if the locks to my car are secure, I will still decimate said individual for attempting to steal my property. That's what it's about. It's about territorialism. It's not about being fearful the girl's going to run off to someone else. There's nowhere to go from me but down. It's not about that. It's about the fact that it's irresponsible for me to put her in that scenario. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean the argument would be good. If I were you, I'm making that argument. I could rationalize the argument you just did if most of the girls that I dated or that I was with had the IQ of somebody who cannot move, think, or do anything and is just stuck on the side of the fucking curb. So yeah, I guess maybe you would have this experience.
Okay,
if most of you did were 0 IQ, brain frozen. Yeah, but it doesn't make sense in the real world because you don't park your fucking girl on the curb at the club. They move, they talk, they do shit. It's not fucking. It's not the danger of other guys doing shit, right? Because they can still think. And the loss of the potential that one guy out of a million will do some crazy shit and is going to forcibly bring her home, right? Is far outweighed by the fun and enjoyment and fulfillment that they get by going to the club in the first place.
That's interesting, but you also have to understand because we are different individuals living very different lives, and I'm not going to sit here and comment on your relationships because I don't understand them because I don't know them. But you have to understand that I am at a status of life where any woman who gets with me understands that to be with a man of my caliber, there are certain sacrifices which must be made. You do not get to be with a kickboxing world champion, multi-millionaire, whose entire life is completely on track and live a life of spoilt princess, and then also say to that man, I go to the club whenever the fuck I want. You might be able to say that to some other men, but you can't say it to me. So, and I want to say something to you that you may not yet understand once again, because you are intelligent, but you're not yet wise because you are young. Women are malleable. And when I say they're malleable, people think that women are these individualistic, unique creatures, and they are to a degree, but they are heavily molded by the man they're with. You'll notice if a woman gets with a man and she loves him, she likes the same music he likes, the same politics.
Anybody's in that regard. Everybody's malleable in that regard with the people that they're with, people that are around. People are the fucking result of what's around them. That's just
correct. So women are malleable. So a woman which may say to you, I'm a unique, special snowflake, I do whatever the fuck I want. If she was in my presence, she wouldn't say that. Now, because women are a reflection of their man. It's not hard to get a woman who sits there and says, you know what? I don't go to the club without my man because I adore my man. If the man is worthy of such adoration. If the woman's sitting there going, well, I'm with him, but he doesn't tell me what to do. That's the man's problem. It's nothing to do with the woman. Females are all the same. It's all about the man they're with. I have no trouble and no arguments in my life telling women they don't go to the club by themselves. Zero. It's not a conversation that even ever appears ever because I am me. So for you to sit here and describe scenarios, that's fine. And you're saying that my women are low IQ. I would counter that by saying if I was with the same women you were with, they'd behave better for me than they would for you. And that is because of my status and my wisdom and my individuality that you've yet.
You treat and pay for them like they're Lambos that are parked at the curb. Of course they're going to be like this if you want to go down that argument. So yeah, I guess once more I have to concede the point because you're right. I guess you dated frozen Lambos parked at the curb.
It's not frozen Lambos. Saying to a woman
that is what you compared. That is your example. You compared the behavior and the potentials of her being stolen to a parked Lambo. Therefore, I have to use that analogy when talking about the girls that you are dating, and you are saying, I'm sorry, it's not an insult. You made this precedent. I have to use it.
I will take any woman I could date, any of women you've ever, I don't know who your girlfriends are. I don't have a clue. But any woman you've ever dated, if I was with her, she wouldn't be going to the club without me. That's the bottom line. And that's because who I am. The woman's paradigm, the idea that the female is going to come along and demand to only go club with the girls, etc., 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 that is heavily dependent on the man she is with.
So what makes you above her then?
Okay.
The money, the status, the top G? What is the label or the prerequisite that makes you above her?
It's not about being above. It's about her.
Yes, it is.
It's about her respecting me.
Therefore, you can't go to the club either. You don't go to the club then.
That's bullshit. I go to the club whatever the fuck I want.
Okay, then what makes her unable to go to the club if you can't go to the club if you're equal?
I am responsible for her, and I have authority.
Why are you responsible? What makes you responsible?
I'm responsible for her because I am more competent as an individual. Now, before
how do you know that? all the girls. And there's no girl out there that could be above you. You're above everybody else.
Well, let's because I know you're going to try and go down the sexist argument. Let's reverse it.
Well, I mean, you bait it. Okay, listen. You have driven this conversation since the beginning. I gave you I gave you the initial roots argument or point, and you are driving
6
yourself
a.m. is
there.
crazy. 6 a.m. is crazy, bro. 6 a.m. is crazy.
You are drawing a circle around it. I didn't do shit.
All right.
I said, what makes you above her?
6 a.m. is crazy,
You're not giving me an answer.
It's not about being above. It's about having responsibility for.
So why do you share responsibility?
Okay, because you can't share responsibility because nothing in life is 50-50. There's always, even if it's 49%, 51%.
Then why you?
Me, because I'm me. This is the exact point. Now let's reverse it, which I've been trying to do for the last 30 seconds.
Okay.
There are women out there who are with men, and that man needs her to tell him, stop playing video games, stop smoking weed, go to the gym, get your diet in order. Why don't you ever work? Why ain't you got any money? There are millions of relationships out there. In said scenario, she has responsibility because she's his mother and she tells him what to do, and she has authority. She can tell him not to do shit because she's the fucking boss. That is happened. So it's not about a sex thing. It's about human dynamics. And every relationship, someone's in charge, and I'm in charge of my relationships. And I find it irresponsible of me to put her in a scenario where something could happen to her. Carry on.
Sorry to interrupt you. I just think what a good point was. I can interject. Since you're making that point, right? The problem with these statements is that you say girls. You always say girls or my girls, right? Intending that it's all of them. What about some girl, right? Who, right now, hypothetically, is a multi-trillionaire, right? And is in your kitchen right now, and she comes away right now. The door opens behind you. We see a little glint of light right behind you right now. And he says, "Hey, Tate, get the fuck off the computer, drinking his bullshit with his stupid cigar, talking to that fucking double on your computer." Right? That could happen, right? According to you. No, it can't happen. Why not?
It can't happen, and I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why.
Oh my God.
Because you said some girl being a multi-trillionaire. There's plenty of women in the world who may have a lot of money. Yeah. But you have to understand that when you look at life, you have to look at life in the different paradigms. There's many different lenses you look at life through. And when you look at life from a societal perspective, yes, women are equal to men and they should be, fine. But when you look at women from an animalistic perspective, because we are basically animals, they are not equal to us physically. When it comes to something like personal safety, which a club involves a lot of, they can get spiked. A man can try on with them and lose his temper. They can get attacked. Whatever can happen. When it comes to physical protection, that is a man's realm. You could be a UFC world champion female, whatever. I'm too big and I'm too strong. I'll still beat him. So there's no female alive who's going to come into a room and tell me when it comes to things like personal protection, responsibility for her own personal safety, etc. Trump my views. That's not true. I'm a man. I have certain domains in which I rule.
Most men cannot say that.
In this line of argument, the things that you just said, I'm trying to go one by one, so I have to be selective about how I'm doing this. Okay, what you're saying, since you brought up the fact that you can get spiked, is that you, Andrew, if you go at the club alone, because the girl is staying at home, she has to stay home, she's boxed in. You go to the club because you're such a fucking warrior, and you get spiked heavier than your drink. You drink it, you will not go unconscious because you're such a fucking lion, aren't you?
It's not about that. It's about the fact that if the woman was with me in the club or if the woman couldn't protect me, that's not the woman's domain. It's down to me and my team to protect me. The female has absolutely no say when it comes to things like personal safety. She has
So she can't have a team around her. She can't.
A team of chicks? A team of chicks? Or you want to send your girl to the club with
Did I say chicks? Did I say chicks?
Oh, a team of dudes. Cool. You want to send your girl to the club with a bunch of dudes. Cool. Your prerogative. Enjoy. Hope you have a nice, long relationship.
Well, my relationship will be long and fulfilling. I can't say the same to when you treat people like this. I mean,
treat people like saying that you don't go to the club without me. We'll go together. Oh, I'm the worst man in the world. Oh, no, don't take your girl to the VIP table with you. Oh, don't do that, Andrew, you misogynist. Send her out there with all those other dudes. I'll tell you what, bro. 87 professional fights, 4-time kickboxing world champion. How about this? I'll protect your chick. Send her to the club with me.
Bro, you can be the biggest lion out there. You can be the most Chad-like bald guy out there, okay? If your drink gets spiked, you're dropping.
That's not the point I'm making. The point I'm making is about the respect that she will have for me for protecting her and my responsibility over her and the authority that comes with it. It'll be about the fact that I don't want my woman in the club without me. I think it's disrespectful, and I don't think that any woman who truly loves a man even wants to do that. Women test boundaries as they should. And I'm about to make another comparison. I'm about to make another comparison that you can use.
Yeah.
Use my analogies against me. You said
I have no other material. You said attack. You said approach me by going 1-to-1 and going with specifics. What else is there than the things that you're feeding me that I can use? Am I supposed to speak in fucking some shit?
I
got what to do. I have to.
Completely. So I compared women to cars, so that makes me a bad man. I'm about to compare women to children. Oh no, I'm a really bad man. So let's do the same thing, right? So when you have a child, let's say you have a 6 or 7-year-old kid, they push the boundaries. They try and see what they can get away with until eventually you come and say, no, you're not allowed to do that anymore. If you leave a child completely unchecked, they're going to do a bunch of crazy shit, right? There has to be a point they come up against the wall where the parents say, no, I'm older than you. I'm more responsible than you. I'm wiser than you. I know things you don't know. Do not stick your fingers in the plug socket. That's part of being an adult. It's part of being a parent. It's the same thing as being a man for a woman. If you're a man with a woman, you're likely older, a lot older, so you're wiser by default. You're probably, if you're a successful man, more successful than her. You've seen a lot of things. You've probably seen more violence than she has, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. You're very, very qualified to come along and say,
why do you intend that you're probably more successful than she is?
Because you're likely older. I mean, I don't know. There's not many 18-year-old girls who are going to be more successful than a 35-year-old man. Maybe. But
why are you dating somebody a little younger?
Okay, 25-year-old. Doesn't matter. Men date younger women on average because young women like older men on average. And they like that because they respect older men because they respect the authority. I don't think any of the things I'm saying here are largely contested. I think everyone agrees that women like...
I mean, not only are they largely contested, they are mostly contested. I think most people disagree with you on this. I mean, most rational beings, except for the people that are completely delusional or off the tracks, unhinged. The problem that you think is that you're saying that men, it's impossible for them to be pushed into the right directions or helped like a children from women. The girls can't come in and say, stop doing this, Tate, stop doing that. They can't do that to you or any other guys because they're women. Which, what the fuck is that? That's just so illogical.
Some men need women to guide them. That's fine. I'm not one of those men.
Also, now some. Earlier was all, now it's some. We're going down the list now. We're trying to...
It was overall. I gave a scenario in which many men are mothered by their girlfriends, and I said in said scenario the woman has authority and responsibility, and she can prevent him from going to the club. And then I also said in every single relationship somebody has responsibility. And then I also said for the same reason I would not allow someone to break into my car, no matter how good the locks are, I will not put my woman in a scenario where people try and take her from me because I find it disrespectful. She shouldn't want to be there. That's what I said. That's all the things I said. Now, if you have a relationship in which you want your girl to go out to the club as much as she wants, that's your prerogative. I'm not coming here telling you not to do it. I will tell you it's going to end badly for you. You may disagree with me.
How do I sneak out of here, bro?
If you keep letting your girl to go to the club, it's going to end badly. Not just because she can get stolen, but because she's not going to respect you as a man. She's going to say, this man lets me go out and get drunk with other men every fucking night. What kind of dude do I have?
That is your definition of what the respect that she owes you is. Not the definition of what the relationships overall.
Bro, my mommy taught me to say bye to everybody at the function before you leave, bro.
The problem with this is that you're being obtuse about it.
My mommy told me to dap everybody up before you leave.
Okay, why are you in a relationship in the first place? Why are you with a girl, right? Because you want to. Because you want to be fulfilled. You want to have a relationship, and you want to feel like you're
leaving the family function without saying hi.
In something, right? You're committed. Why do you date? Tell us. Why do you date?
Absolutely, for the same reason everybody dates, for fulfillment.
Okay, so a lot of points, let's say like a polygon. A lot of things make you fulfilled, like a little bit of this, a little bit of that, a little bit. It makes it a nice polygon, right?
Correct.
Right. So, in my opinion, this is what the foundation of what a relationship is. For me to be fully fulfilled, I want the person I'm with, my partner, prerequisite is that they're fulfilled in all these ways. These things to match. For me to match.
When this nigga pauses, I'm gonna time it perfectly.
If she's fulfilled, I'm fulfilled, and we are together like that, right?
Yep.
And what you're saying is that what fulfills a person, they have to sacrifice and lose out on some of these points for you to feel fulfilled. How does it make any sense whatsoever? That is completely and utterly illogical because they have to make compromises and sacrifices that overall will lack fulfillment and will make you feel less fulfilled. and you will end up with a raw loss overall in this exchange.
I'm gonna let y'all finish this conversation, but I just want to say I got to dip. Got a flight to catch. I'm gonna holla at y'all. Appreciate you.
Peace.
Later, bro.
Peace.
See you, man. Take it, man.
All right, bro.
Appreciate you. We out of here.